Years and years and years ago, I did bookkeeping on the side, so it was like a side hustle. So don't get me wrong, I did charge for it, but I didn't really feel like it was a job. It was just something I felt, oh, I'm helping out a friend who's got his own business, and that has grown into what I do now. You can literally charge for anything nowadays. Get your mind out the gutter. Like, that is not where I was going with this, but you can set up a side hustle, or you could start doing stuff straight away and charge for it. Fuck's sake. Hi, and welcome to the Breakout Business Podcast, the small business podcast for small businesses. Now, it only seems right to start with how to set up a small business, and it's the most common questions we get asked from people that want to start a business, whether it's a side hustle, whether you've jumped into full time, maybe you've been selling things but you don't feel like it's a proper business. Maybe it's something you just do and you've never even charged for, you've never considered it as a business, that is really important, because so many people are just like, oh, I don't feel like a real business, which, I'll be honest, imposter syndrome is real and we all feel like we're absolutely winging it. But the important thing is you can literally charge for anything nowadays. Get your mind out the gutter. Like, that is not where I was going with this, but you can set up a side hustle, or you could start doing stuff straight away and charge for it. Years and years and years ago, I did bookkeeping on the side, so it was like a side hustle. So don't get me wrong, I did charge for it, but I didn't really feel like it was a job. It was just something I felt, oh, I'm helping out a friend who's got his own business, and that has grown into what I do now. And that was alongside a corporate job. So it wasn't a lot of time, but I managed to spend the time and getting it doing what needed to be done. So setting up a business, so many times we get emails in, or we get phone calls, or we get contacted of just, where do I start? Just where do I? So you've got the business idea, you know what you want to do, but you're not really sure where to start with it. So I can sometimes then be the voice of doom, because it's making sure people know exactly what to do, but it's not taking the good stuff out of it. Because if you've at that point and you just don't know where to start, it means you've already got something. You've already got like a business or a product or a service or something. You're just like, yeah, this could be a business. Or maybe friends and family are just like, you need to do this as you need to do this as a career. I remember working with someone years ago who was just amazing at interior design, just had a real eye for it. And everyone said to her, this is what you need to do. And she just, didn't do it. And it's just that natural talent. I bet you can think of someone now who's just got that absolute natural talent for something. And maybe they make their own products. Maybe it's a certain service they do. Maybe they're a dancer or a dance teacher. Maybe it's someone who, virtual assistants, obviously quite a big thing, right? Well, it's always been a big thing, and it's technically what I can call myself, but I don't, because I'm better in person. But it's, where do I start? So you start by, one, you can just do it. You start by selling your product or service. So if you make something or you start doing it, you can, if you've already got people telling you should do this, you probably have inquiries, or you're being asked to do something. And it's that simple in a way. This is proper taking it down as simply as possible. But you literally just stand there, think of like a lemonade stand at the bottom of your driveway, or maybe it's that you just help someone out now and again, but haven't thought of actually charging for it. You just do what the business is and charge for it. That is how you start, and that is a business in simple terms. But as you know, and why you might be stuck or why you might not know where to start, that is where you're in the position you are now. Where do I start? What do I do? So for the first one is, you need to set up the business. Now, that's to decide for, is it just you? Are you a sole trader? Are you working with someone? Do you want to be a limited company? It's really important to speak to someone with experience, of whether it's an accountant or whether it's a business advisor or the HMRC website. I always recommend go to the Gov website, because that's fact. and they're the ones that are going to judge you and get in trouble if you don't do it right, ultimately. So they've got some really good information on there. So just go to the Gov website, because they will be able to tell you the difference between a sole trader, limited company. They won't necessarily tell you what's right for you, but you can pick out. I would always say, if you've got high risk, i.e. you're going to be buying stock or you're going to be buying from suppliers, limited is where the risk is, because sole trader, if you set up as a sole trader, all your risk is on you. So your house is at risk, personally you're at risk. So that's where I would say the biggest difference between the two of them, and that's what ultimately comes down to why people choose one or the other, depending what you're doing. Once you've decided that, you then need to decide your pricing. How much you're going to charge. So there's a whole load of customer and business research that you need to do to decide what you're going to charge for it. Are you going to charge per packet? If you're a service-based business, is it per package? Is it for a certain service? Is it for a by the hour? I wouldn't recommend charging by the hour, but some people do. We, in a way, roundabout way, we still do. So it just all depends, but it also depends on what feels right for you as well. What sits comfortably with you? What are you most happy about telling people about? Same as a product-based business. Now, the artists are the classic for this one. If you're selling a product, people will say, well, the canvas cost me this, the paints cost me this. Ultimately, the painting should sell for X. So the one thing we've not mentioned in there is actually the artist's time. And it's the same for a lot of crafters and a lot of people that make products. You need to somehow also factor in your time to that. Yes, it can be quite scary, because you can go, oh, Timo, sell it for 10p. Of course they do. But that's a whole nother ball game, and that's a whole nother, and we know it's going to fall apart within 10 seconds. So, but you need to make sure you factor in your time when you're considering your pricing, as well as your competitor research. What are other people charging? How do they compare? And when I say how do they compare, what sort of level of quality and business are there? Are you looking at Aldi versus Waitrose, or are we looking at Aldi versus Lidl? So are we looking for very similar products? Are they packaged up differently? What is the true cost of your product? And that will help with pricing. And I can guarantee whatever you've come out with, you probably need to put at least 20% on it, because we're too British and we'll straight away go, oh, that's £1, please. And it's not £1. It needs to be more than £1. So whatever figure you end up with, add a percentage on it, or get someone who you love and trust who can tell you, who will be brutally honest with you and tell you what you should be charging for it. The next thing will be that goes hand in hand in pricing is your accounts. How are you going to invoice? Are you going to charge people? Is it a physical product? So you need to set up and have a card reader. We use Square. Or are you going to invoice out? Is it a service? Are you going to invoice monthly? Are you going to invoice and charge, and maybe charge use a card reader at the end of an appointment? Are you going to take cash? Are you going to ask to buy backs? Are you going to have it through, so you take PayPal, for example? That's a very expensive way of doing it. I wouldn't do that. Online, if you're selling products online, you will need a Stripe account or similar. So there's all these things to monitor, because ultimately that will then complete your accounts. You need to know, and your accounts are very, very, very simply put, your income versus your expenditure. That's it. So solely on your business, what have you paid out versus what have you got in? What have you had money specifically for that product or service? That is your income, total being your turnover of the business. Is that versus what it's cost you to run the business? So this is where people get confused. Again, HMRC is brilliant for this. They do tell you what you can claim as expenses, but things like, I travelled here to make this podcast. I wouldn't have travelled here if I didn't make a podcast, which is part of marketing for my business. So I can claim my mileage on that, on my travel, however I got here. I can then claim the jumper I'm wearing, for example. I had these all made. If I didn't have a business, I would not have this jumper. And that's kind of how you need to think about it. If you didn't have the business, would have you paid out? So is that expense directly related to your business? Now, If you're a limited company, if you've got stock, we're throwing some more things into that. But that's where your account's really, really important. Also, it is worth nowadays getting some account software, because you can then set it up so it can run reports and it can tell you how your business will be going. If you can take the time to set that up correctly at the start, to know exactly how much you make on product A, how much on product B, what your product margin is. It's a bit of work to set up, but once it's set up, it's there. And the reports and information you can get out of that absolute gold to help you make business decisions. So just have a think about different software. And when I say software, some people, we're still on a spreadsheet, and that is absolutely fine. Other people, we use QuickBooks, Sage, Xero, whatever the accounting software will be. Again, that's something we can absolutely help with. So then you've got your product or service. You've decided how much you're going to charge for it. You've then got your accounts set up so you can see at a touch of a button how much money you're making. Without sounding horrendous, you're not going to make a lot up front because you've got all your setup fees. So now, once we've done that, we need to tell people about it. We need to outlay some costs. So it might be that for a product, we might have the outlay of stock or materials or whatever that might be. You might need a website. We need to tell people about it. We need to spend on social media marketing. If it's a service, again, it's the outlay of the marketing. How are you going to tell people? Are you going to pay for networking events? So it's all these costs, and if you can do a budget and be really realistic, do you need a car? Do you need a van? My car is wrapped, for example, so everyone, as well as a hoodie, that smart car is breakout smart car and is spotted all around the local area. So that massively helps me. So marketing wise, as well as outlaying for your materials, for your account software, it's then the website, the networking, social media. How are you going to get word out from your business? I can't tell you enough how many people will create a Facebook page and go, well, the Facebook page is there. Why are people coming to it? It's the first question. Have you told anyone about it? Have you told anyone about your business? And this is where, unless you're absolutely sick to the back teeth of your own voice talking about your own business, you've not marketed enough. You have not told enough people about what you're doing and what your business is. And this is really, really important. And I'm not saying just wander around the street shouting at people, because that ain't going to help. I'm not saying go around and just sell, sell, sell. People don't like to be sold to nowadays. They're not comfortable with that. What you need to do is find out, one, what your target market is. Who are you going to sell to? Is your demographic? So again, going back to have a look at who's your ideal client. And it can be, and I've been there, it can be really, really difficult straight up front to go, I don't know it's everyone. It's everyone. I promise you, it is not everyone. You don't want to talk to everybody. There are nightmare customers out there. They're nightmare clients. Also, not everyone wants your product or service. If your product is headbands for 10-year-olds, you are not going to want to be selling to the older generation. And likewise for a service, if your service is for working parents who need extra help, so I'm talking virtual assistants now, who need extra help, they need diary management, you're not going to want to sell to anyone at school, but you're also not going to want to sell to anyone retired. So you need to have a think about your target market, because once you've got your target market and your ideal client, and you can sit there and go, do you know what? It's this person is who's going to buy my product or I want to work with. It might be that you've got a bit of a side hustle or you've already started doing it, but for free. You will know. Think about that person you already work well with or has come repeatedly to buy your product or talk to you about something you're doing. That you're like, oh, they're so lovely. They're so amazing. That's your target market. That's exactly who you want to be talking to. So have a think about that, because once you've got that person in mind, straight away you can see, where do they hang out? Do they go to networking events? And when I say networking events, there are a whole range of networking events. There are networking events which cost well over £1,000 to join. It's very corporate and it's very I suppose, professional. It's very salesy, but that might be absolutely ideal for you. So you can go along to pretty much any networking event for free as a bit of a trial, or someone can take a friend. Um, or it might be a bit like our networking events, which are really, really casual. There's not really that much selling involved at some respects. We do a talk about yourself, let everyone know who's in the room. But after that, the conversations go off at all angles, because I truly believe if you've talked about yourself and talked about key information, it might be, for example, I've got a dog, I had a border collie, I'm an absolute dog lover, so I will naturally start talking about my dog. So straight away, the other dog lovers in the room will be attracted to that conversation. And then you share dog stories. How many people have you got dog on your phone? Oh, let's see a picture. And straight away, you've got that connection. And that's what networking is about. You need to build connections with the right people. But also, the people in the room might not be your target market. You might work in the wedding industry. There might be other people in the room in the wedding industry. So they're not directly going to buy from you, but their target market is the same as your target market. So straight away, oh, do you know what? Farley's just set up a wedding dress business. Easy example. Last thing I'm ever going to do. Farley's just set up a wedding dress business. You should go and speak to her, or here's her. So you've built up that brilliant network of people who are recommending you as well. And I cannot tell you, and have a think of, if I came, yeah, I do small business support. You need to come to me for small business support. You'll be like, really? Whereas if it's someone else, so if one of my clients oh yeah, I had it this morning at a coffee shop. I was sat outside a coffee shop the other day. Someone else was in the shop and said to the owner, "Oh, who's that? What does she do?" She went, "Oh, she does this. She does small business support." "Oh, I'm just setting up. I need to speak to her." "Yep, she's really good. She does this, and this. She's based in Long Melford." Straight away. Who who are you going to listen to more? So it's going back to that. People don't like to be sold to, but they love hearing a recommendation, and they love hearing about other people. So, and someone else, and this is exactly what we always say to our clients, we will banter to your face 100%. Behind your back, we will big you up massively. We will tell everyone how awesome you are, why they need to use you, and what they need to use you for. Because for me, that small business support of recommendations is absolute gold. And there are people out there that aren't on social media, they don't go to networking, and they don't have a website, because it's just word of mouth. I've got a client, she says, if you've got her business card, you're lucky, and you need to contact her. You need to work with her, because she is like gold dust. She's obviously only got so many clients or so many hours in the day, but she's built up that reputation and customer service that she doesn't need to be anywhere. People just literally word of mouth pass on her details. And that's kind of the gold level you want to be. But not all of us can get there, but not all of us want to be there. So another way of marketing is on social media. One of the reasons you want to be on social media is it's free if you do it yourself, but you don't want to be on every platform. I cannot tell you how many times people come in and they want to be set up on every platform. We're on every platform, but more because we need to be on every platform. That's what we do. For our clients, we do social media. It's not just me, there's a team of us. Different clients target different demographics. So for example, if you're targeting, for me, if I'm your target market, I'm on Instagram. You need to be on Instagram, which is brilliant if you've got photos and content. If you haven't got photos and content, you can't be on Instagram. So how do you get in front of me? So then that depends on your industry and what you want to do. Example I always use is a local gardener. He came in and he said, I need to be on Instagram, Facebook, and I need a website. And this is where we talk ourselves out of business. I can quote you for a website, that's absolutely fine. I can quote you for a website that you can build yourself. I can quote you for a website where we will do it all for you. Not a problem. However, once you've done a website and you've created this beautiful website, how are you going to update it? And this is the conversation I had with him. Are you going to put photos on it? Are you going to do a blog? Are you going to do that? Well, no, it's just a website. It just sits there. Well, it does just sit there, but also it just sits there and falls off of Google, page one. If it's not updated, and the best place to hide a dead body, page two of Google, all day long. How many of you look beyond page one of Google? Even more so now, which is what I told him, you need to be on Google My Business. So you think when you Google gardeners in your area, straight away it comes up with Google Maps and it will have all the Google businesses down there. And that's free. So a version of a social media platform that is absolutely free. So straight away, you know that gardener, he's got number of reviews, massive tick box. I can't write review. If I manage a Google My Business page, I can't write reviews for it. So I can't write reviews for myself. Legitimate reviews straight away. Oh, I'm going to cut. And what else has it? Because we're all looking at it on their phones. Call here. Button, call, done. And it makes it really, really easy for people. So social media is really important, but the right social media. Going back to what he requested, a website. So I've talked him out of a website, but we're putting him on Google My Business. He wanted Instagram and a Facebook page. I'm like, okay, I can create you an Instagram page. Are you going to update it? Oh, what do you mean? Well, you're going to post pictures at least once a week. You can't post and ghost. You can't post once and then not touch it for 8 weeks. When are you going to post on it? Well, I'm not. It's just going to be there so people can find me. They won't find you. You try searching for someone on Instagram and you don't know their Instagram name or handle. Let me know how that goes for you, because it won't bring up someone straight away who's local. So it's a completely different search engine to Google, whereas that will come up gardener near me. Instagram doesn't do. You put in gardener, Gardener's World comes up. It's just a completely different. Yes, it is now used as a search engine, but it's a completely different ball game. And last but not least, he asked for a Facebook page. Brilliant. I can make you a Facebook page. Are you going to update it? I'll try. Okay, fine. So we gave in, I created him a Facebook page, showed him how to update it and what to do, put him in all the local groups. So if anyone's, the main thing was, we said we'll create a Facebook page. There's someone to tag you. So we all know what Facebook's like. Facebook now, the demographic is my parents. So it's my parents' age. That's who's average on Facebook. And does anyone know a gardener? So they could tag his page. So, okay, brilliant. Have you considered going in the local parish magazines or just the village magazines? I've done that before, he said. Not sure. I said, well, here's a list of them. Here's a list of what they cost. So some of ours range from £20 for an advert to £100 and something for an advert, depending on size, shape, colour, black and white, whatever it might be. So he said, can you do me an advert? So we created him an advert. We sent it out to 2 village magazines. Brilliant. So off he went. He got his Facebook page, his Google My Business, and his parish magazine advert. He came back in just under a year later. He was like, can you delete the Facebook page? I was like, yes, I can delete the Facebook page. Can you just redo and send me the advert so I can put it in parish magazines? All he needed, he was turning away work because of the adverts in the parish magazines. That was it. So his demographic were people who wanted someone reliable and trustworthy. And he said he answers every call. If he doesn't answer every call, he will get back to people. Even if he has to say, I can't come see you for however many weeks, he will do that. And that's what's really, really important. That's his customer service. And that's what he does. And he has got more work. People will wait for him. So if he says, I can't get you to 4 to 6 weeks, they will now wait for him and they will call him back and say, put that in the diary. So it's a learning, it is a journey, but this is where marketing for your small business is so, so important, because you could be on every platform, but what's going to take your time up? So all of this, we've set up the business, we've done that, we've done all the tick boxes, and by any means this isn't an exhaustive list. I promise you, you always have a massive to-do list of whether it's improving your product, your service, shouting about it, working with others. You can do collaborations with similar people. There's so much you can do, but you will soon find you need to save time and energy. So you don't want to be on any platform. It will become exhausting. It will feel like, oh, I've got to post. That will come through in your posts. So That's why your marketing, your target market is really, really important. And if relevant, if you're going to massively niche down, don't stress about that. It does not need to be everyone to make you lots of money. I promise you, if you put out, I'm open to everybody, you will soon either burn out, attract the wrong customers, and actually not enjoy what you're doing, depending on whether it's service or product, what you're doing. So have a think. There is so much more we can go through in terms of how to set up a business and what to do. But if you've got any questions, get in touch with us. We're always here to help. I can recommend myself as small business support. Not that we have a lot of time, but at the same time that we work with a huge list of people that can help you as well. So it's like, example, if you go down the marketing route and you want to be on YouTube, if you go down the business side route and there's certain networking events or people you want to be put in contact with, or you want to work with certain other businesses, if I worked with an accountant, they can recommend me, whoever it might be, we can absolutely help with that, even if it's just giving you a bit nudge in the right direction. And the same, if you know of a friend or family member who keeps talking about setting up a new business, or maybe they've got a bit of a side hustle that they want to feel like it's a proper business, send them this episode and let us know what you think. Because honestly, we really, really hope this is all free information and it will really, really help someone set up a business and really live the life that they want to live and give them the time and make the money that they need to make their business a success. So as always, for a small business podcast, like and subscribe because that massively helps us. Leave us a review, and as always, get in touch if you need us because we're always here for you. Thanks for listening.